definição. Yeah, so I'm looking at a US dollar right now. See how this was a bull flag. As I said earlier today, I suspect it's a bull flag, and it's proceeding to be a bull flag. So it's broke that level, and these are all my drawings from today, early today, and so it's not breaking to the downside, so we're going to rule that out. That was what I was hoping for, but I didn't really think of it. That's the spot that's going to happen. So that bull flag, if we to measure that, if this is a bull flag and we measure that bull flag here, actually, let me just get rid of that. Let me just get the lines right. If I was to do a line, oh, come on, what kind of line is that? Crap, what? If I do a line like that, let's just fix this up. All right, so if I get that line, measure the pole. So the pole is, that's one pole, and pretty much from the bottom of that, actually that's a target for the US dollar based on this flagpole. And that's the resistance. The other part to that flagpole is the longer impulse, and that's the range. So definitely the US dollar is looking to enter this range. How is that going to affect Bitcoin? I don't know, but I suspect it's going to make Bitcoin struggle to hold that level, because if Bitcoin did go up while this was going sideways, Bitcoin did go up, we could have had that buffer. But now the question is, if this goes up slowly, it's the Bitcoin will still be all right. This big impulse, which is about 0.5% of a $1 trillion industry, so 0.5% of a $1 trillion market, is significant. Now, if this, I think that move was very strong, got the bull flag, and now we're starting to move up slowly. There's a number of levels for it to come across. So if you look at this, let's put the Fibonacci onto it. And if I was to say that is a target, and you can see how it's already, the 0.382 is already acting a bit resistance. So it might just slowly crawl its way out and then hit this, and then will potentially come down again, because this is strong resistance. This area is strong resistance. Therefore, the US dollar is going to fluctuate, and then that's when we're going to know what's going to happen to the crypto market, really. So I'm looking at the US dollar as a guide to what we can potentially have to the crypto market. And there's no way of telling you how this is going to behave. It's not easy to understand. Oh, here we go again. Yeah, Rob. Yeah. Right now, I think ADA's better. Well, look at that. Yeah, look at the ADA pairing chart, Ethereum chart, and that looks like a bounce. So, yeah, ADA's doing much better, but I would also have a bit of Bitcoin as well. If you're gonna, yeah, you know, I'm doing live streaming, so I'll talk to you later. Bye. So Bitcoin there on the 1 hour. So if you look at the previous bounce, you can see it just doesn't die. So we had this hard drop, and this could probably play out again. If this stupid machine does draw, flat delay. Come on, freak me out. Okay, so I've got a delay in drawing. So you can see this reversal pattern, and the reversal pattern actually had this this drop. So it was actually a drop to the bottom. This was a bear flag, and the bear flag hit its target down there, and then a real strong response, because that was a support level, a significant support level, which was a 10 weekly EMA, and the 10 weekly EMA is still in play over here. So if I was to go to one of my charts, you can see how that trend line is still very relevant, this white trend line, and I do see it holding for a while, because the damage has been done by the US dollar, and I do believe Bitcoin's going to hold that level, but it does take the steam away from the market. Confidence is gone, and it doesn't matter what I think at the end of the day. It really depends on what US dollar is going to do and what Bitcoin is likely to do, and you better play it smart, play it safe. If you didn't sell before and don't have cash, this was an imminent drop. It's always has been. You should have cashed up a bit here. Now the question is, do you jump in anytime soon? And the answer is no. You don't jump in. If you're conservative, you don't jump in. You can jump in, but I do see potential wicks coming down. This is 1, 2, 3, the fourth. Yeah, this I think is the fourth candle on the 4 hour, and it's going to continually test it like this. Yeah. So we're going to be here for a while, as long as the US dollar doesn't do something drastic. That's my opinion. But can it be a bear flag? Yeah, definitely. Definitely can be a bear flag. My issue is this 20 moving average. I was relying on that over here, and we never touched it. And now this 20 moving average is coming up to this level. And historically, it did the job. That if the 10 moving average comes around there, and that's what it is, because that's a weekly 10 moving average. If it came here, it will do its job. That's why there's a lot of reasons to buy this. From a Bitcoin perspective and from this chart perspective, there's a lot of reasons to buy in. And I got a signal that says buy. I bought. I just bought recently. But the problem is, it's this. This is the problem. It stuffs up the plans, because you don't know. There is an expectation that the US dollar is going to stuff it up. Really? So I see one person posting that the US dollar is going to crash. Yeah, I still, long term wise, Bitcoin is going to. I think Bitcoin is going to still be good, but we don't care about that right now. We were looking for maximizing our money and our profit. This is the last. If you look at the US dollar here, realistically, this is. It's going to struggle to hold this. Where are we? So if I was to get all this US dollar stuff, seriously? So if you look at this on the US dollar chart, that's a daily, the 2 daily, let's see what that does. You can see where we've got support. And if I was to grab that line, there is no real line except here. There's a line there, which is not significant. It's probably more of a horizontal line, really. So just a bit there. Do we have a line here? Not really. That was a line. Actually, that's bearish, isn't it? Woohoo! That's pretty good. So this is a 2-day chart. Price came down, found support at this level, and found a major resistance on this trend line. This is the US dollar. You can also argue that this also played out here as well. So it did 2 scenarios where it's bearish. Now it's got 2 major resistance. So the US dollar is going to spill down. Something like that. So can Bitcoin survive it? Well, it's fluctuating at that level. Yeah, so it's already got 1 rejection. So if we look at this, the US dollar, that little bounce here on the 2-day, that little bounce is causes havoc. Just that little bounce. It's amazing, but that's what's caused us pain. This little thing here. It's a daily, and if you look on the 4-hour chart, it's that little bugger, that little bounce on the $1 trillion industry has caused us havoc. And this was meant to be a reversal. It became a continuation pattern, a diamond or half a diamond. So price comes down, does this, and drops again. And do we get another? This could be at this level, just around here, another reversal pattern to go down. Short term wise, it's not going to help us in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's just bloody came to the wrong level at the wrong time. If we broke the 60K before, it would have been better off, but now we're not. The US dollar will dictate how it's going to happen. At the moment, the US dollar is going to go up, and I would say we'll find more resistance here. If I was to just draw this line, you can see that a bit of a notch. Let's see on this chart, RSI, MACD actually, MACD will be good. Doesn't quite help, does it? All right, let's try another one. Maybe it's stuffed. Let's look at the 8. Upward momentum still there. I don't think the MACD is going to do much. The daily. So when we look at the daily, there is nothing really significant about just that bounce. It's come to a resistance already, that bounce really. So if you look on the daily, there's a clear resistance right here. That's clear resistance. And then we have a previous bounce right there and there along that line. Yeah, and it doesn't draw. Come on. Come on, enjoy fish shit. So here we had resistance around here. Why am I not drawing? What the hell's going on? So that is resistance there as well, where the prices are approaching at the moment. And we've got this daily trend on the moving average acting as resistance as well. So this is going to be a good point where Bitcoin, if it just holds its level and wait for the US dollar to get rejected, could make a good reversal for Bitcoin. Does that make sense? Have a look at that. While you look at that, I'm just going to make myself a cup of tea, and I'm going to start looking at other coins. And it's up to you guys what you want to do. Come back in 5-10 minutes, and then I'll go through the chart more thoroughly and look for a reversal if there's any reversal, and look at which coins we can move to. But if you want the answer to say buy or sell right now, my opinion is to buy. Okay, so right now, my opinion is to buy, but wait for confirmation. Wait for a reversal pattern, which is going to take a while. And if you're really stressed out, if you sold at the wrong time, which you sold before it got down there. So here's a tip for you guys. Every time you're thinking of, oh, is it going to drop or not, have these fib levels be your references. Each fib level is your selling point or buying point. The fib levels are a good guide to making decisions. In other words, if this price goes up and goes, all right, if it's going to drop below that fib level, well, it's going to go to the next one. And again, if it drops below that fib level, it's going to go to the next one. In this case, it dropped 2 fib levels, 3 and a bit. So if you're cashed up like I am here, I'm looking at going long. So I've bought ADA, not Bitcoin, and now I'm looking at, because Bitcoin's not the one that gives you the most return at this point. The dollars are still there, and ADA's holding its ground very well. So I made that choice. Where are we? Not that. And this is ADA against Ethereum, and you can see a nice ADA's doing better against Ethereum at this level. Ethereum's has hit a target, and I'll talk about that target. It was one of my targets, and it did a good job. So that's why Ethereum's gone a bit weak, because it hit its target, and Link hit its target and it's dropped. So you can't have a generalized comment on alts. You need to be very specific about each one and where it is on its price action life cycle. Each one has its own story, and you've got to make that decision on what that chart says. There's no general comment. You can't make a generalization. And this is where a lot of newbies get it wrong. I've got a colleague that I'm doing one-on-one training with. I'm teaching him fundamentals, and he keeps asking me generalized questions, and I'll keep responding, there's no generalized answer. If you want to buy all these altcoins, I can't give you a generalized answer because it's not specific. So, in this session, where I'm about to start, after I grab a cup of tea in a bit, I'll come back in 15 minutes. Then I'll start to go through charts and I'll answer your questions. So give us 10, 15 minutes, I'll be back and talk to you soon, guys. So let me just type that in, because not everyone's going to read it or hear it. Back in 15 minutes. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. I am back. And looking at that, Bitcoin's dropping, but ADA's gaining on Ethereum. Does your head in. Right, let's have a different look. Let's see what Ethereum's on. Let's see what ADA's doing. So ADA's looking good. This is ADA against the US dollar. It's just bouncing up. Even though Bitcoin's dropping, ADA's going up, defying gravity. And I spoke about the reason for it. So let's look at the reason. This is the daily chart for ADA. Now we did state, if you look at this ADA, pretty much if you include the wicks, it's retested this level, and those in the know that a few tests, few touches daily, it's been here for a while, and you can probably extend this wick, these 2 wicks, a bit more, and there's all these wicks and candlesticks. They're saying ADA's good, so you can't ignore that. Now on the left we have ADA against Ethereum. It's going up. ADA hasn't lost much value, so if you look at that, ADA here is $1.74. Meanwhile, Ethereum is plummeting. Far out, it's dropping a fair bit, isn't it? I got rid of all my Ethereum. Actually, I got a bit more left. Oh, my son's Ethereum. Should have got rid of it. Can we have ADA Ethereum swap? Yes, there is on Binance. ADA Ethereum. Ethereum's plummeted. Now that's bad. One of the big markets. Actually, I got rid of Ethereum when I did. You can see my lines on Ethereum against Bitcoin. once it starts breaking that level, so this is the next level, you will think it'll hold there, right? So we've got that level, this support, and we've got the horizontal support. And that should be some Fibonacci as well. So if I go to the bigger time frame, you can see how my channel comes into play. So Ethereum should hold, but this is not good for Ethereum. Let's look a bit more against Bitcoin. It was close to my mark, the top. If I bloody, how much time I got to go left to get? Where is it? Far out. I have to go to the weekly, do I? Right, I'll go to the weekly. Ah, there you go. My 618. So obviously I need to tweak this a bit more, and that was it. Remember I said that the 618 will have a good reaction? There you go. I was right on the money. So I just didn't think it was going to be that strong. So this could be a very strong resistance, and I started that early this morning. I just didn't keep track of it. So I did the right thing. It's hard to get these fib levels exactly right. That's why I had it, like if I reversed what I did, that was my fib level. You can see I missed making it perfect. Not by much. So I didn't miss it by much. But that was a resistance. So I'll go forward. That's a weekly. And the 618 is the golden ratio. For those who don't know what the golden ratio is, look it up on our charts. The 618 is a major resistance, and the 1.618 is a major resistance. Is the market finished? No. So is the bull market finished? No. No way. We still got. Well, what we're doing here today is trying to maximize our buying power and selling power. When to do it and why to do it. So I'm telling you here is why. The when is already passed. You have to keep an eye on it. I don't have software that does that, or I have signals that does that, but not software. I did think that there might be a possibility that it could be up to this level, and that's not the case. It's a bit of other performance. So the Fibonacci really played into this. Now, if I look on the right, sorry guys, look on the right, it's in another fib level here now. So it ignored my diagonal line that looked like place support. Now it's hit the horizontal, sorry. And this will be interesting to see what it does. Is this going to be a buy signal here? So let me see if I can get this really right. I'm going to put my fib levels proper. That's one level. Let's see, I'm on the 1 hour, it's not going to help. Let's see the 4 hour. I'm going to try and get my lines right. Let's see. So here, that's my top reference. The problem with these reference points, some of the wicks you got to learn to ignore. And so this wick here, do I ignore it? And so what I need to do is look at maybe an 8-hour chart. And what's the body and what's the wick? I'm just going to play with this just to make sure. But I have a suspicion that's what I'm getting at. So my reference point is from the bottom, which is not a good thing to do. So I'll do this one here. This one's probably better. Is it? So you can argue that this is up to the body. Actually, I'll just leave that for now. What I'll do is get a fib extension. I'll use that from there to there. Swing high, swing low. Or is it this one here? Yeah, it could probably be it, really. I am falling short. So is it that one there? Could be it. It's hard. So I can use this one right down there. And that makes sense. From that swing low, let's see, where are we? Right from here, I can do that there. Swing low. Yep. I'll use that swing low. And I can use to that point there, to the point there as a reference. And then I can look into it closer. So let me have a look. Try to get rid of some of this stuff. Let's see this. Get rid of that. I'll get rid of that. I just got a feeling that. Okay. So that worked out all right. So I'll use the macro level from here, from there to that point, to that reference point, and it equals 1. So the 1 extension. And here, the 0.618 was the previous resistance area. And now the 1 is where Ethereum's got rejected. What I want to do is see if I can get, look, that's one confirmation. Just randomly, I want to see if I can get the 618 from a different reference point. So if that's my bottom wick, I'll choose that one there. And that one bottom there. And I'll see, I'll change that color. It sort of falls short, a bit short, to the 1.618. So I've got these two buggers. So that would have been the target range. And you can see I had one target there. But that would have been the range for resistance. Because I'm using these two methods. And so that is aligned with this reasoning, why Ethereum's dropped in price and why Ethereum against Bitcoin has dropped in price. They both hit basically a level that's worth taking no note of. Did we expect this kind of sell-off? I didn't. That's pretty deep. So what I'll do now is just hide some of this. And I suspect that this could. So this level is pretty much support, right? You can see all the candles, congestion. That's a congested area. So this is a good support area. So don't sell. If you sold up here, it's fine, but don't sell here. It's the wrong idea to sell. Don't sell Ethereum here because we've got too much reason for it to be a support level. And the fact that it dropped from there to there, which is about 18%, gives you no reason not to sell now. And my gut feeling is it's going to do one of these buggers. So a fractal, we're going to have the 1, 2, 3, up. So this might be the case where we do the 1, 2, 3, and up. Probably not to that level, that high. I reckon it will be somewhere Actually, there could be a reason for that. Because this is very significant. We can't include that. But here could be another reaccumulation structure. Remember I said when you have a real up thrust like this, the first point where it gets rejected and where it hits the target, there's the big major sell-off. Now this is the bottom. So we're going to draw a line across. That's our range in the coming weeks and potentially month. That this could be our range for Ethereum for reaccumulation if the bull markets continue. So I do think that this level is significant support. And just to prove that point, you remember I said just now, and I'm going to give you an example why this theory of mine, and it's an observable theory I had. It's just paying attention to the charts, and something I think I learned new. When you ever have a big uptrend, a big up acceleration, where it stops is significant, and therefore it becomes a new significant resistance point. And then usually the first rejection is the deep one, and this is deep, 18%. It could even go down to here and there. Okay, so we've got to watch this. Now let me put a comparison to Bitcoin. It's basically a lesson, really. This is how we had it here. I better change the color because it's not going to work. It's funny how I move from one chart to another and the color comes with me. It's just not right. I'm going to complain to the TradingView guys to change that. So here we got an up thrust. And the first area of rejection, what happens? That was, I think that was like a 18% rejection as well. 27%, there you go. It wasn't 18. So that's my point about when you have this massive uptrend and when it hits its target, it's always the biggest pullback, the deepest. And if I was to use this theory, and let me get that color fixed up as well. I reckon Ethereum could do something similar to this. It's just one of many formations, obviously. And if I select this, see how that pullback and see where it bounces up to? It's usually a significant level. And the rejection is back down to the first rejection. So we've got the AB equals CD here. All right. So that rejection and then the bounce brings it back down. That was that case there. In other cases, here is a thrust and another significant target and a deep pullback. Yep, ABC. So Ethereum is going to do something like that, in my opinion. Yep, it's a theory, but I think that's an observable theory. ADA did the same. So if I look at ADA here on the daily, we had, and I'm going to change the color again, we had a significant thrust to the upside. So from here we went up, a major resistance, pull back deep, and then another bounce, another pullback deep. So, and we had this sideward structure for ADA. And this is the point about Ethereum. So now I think Ethereum is done for the while. For how long, I don't know. I don't think it will be bad as Bitcoin or ADA in the past. I think Ethereum is much more bullish. And if I was to do this on Ethereum, that's my Ethereum perp, which is just the same thing, just the perpetual contract. If I had this as a pullback, and that's where it stopped, let's just stretch that out a bit. and then we have the bounce. This is assuming that Bitcoin doesn't plummet. That's the precondition. So I'll get rid of that. So what we're going to look at for Ethereum right now is, and if you look carefully, it did the A. Oh, come on. We had the pull down all the way there, that wick, and then we had this bounce, and then another pull down. So that was the ABC wave, the correction wave. Now we're going to expect a move to the upside, and it's probably going to be up to this level. And if we measure that, this is just plain scenarios. If I measure that thing, it's potentially to the 0.236 level. And if it gets there, it's bullish. As long as it makes above the 0.5, this move, and goes above it, then we have confirmation that that is bullish. If it comes up here and then drops down again, that's a dead cat bounce, and therefore I would assume that we're going to keep going lower. The 0.5 is a deep line in the sand. It needs to go above it with this bounce. So yeah, if you didn't get rid of Ethereum, well, here, this is going to be a good place to buy. It might drop. It could probably drop a bit lower. There is that possibility with a wick, but do not sell. And yeah, I see that support, and you can see how much. Now what I'll do is get rid of the other lines, and you can see on the chart. No, I'll get back that one. Yep. So that is a structure, top formation, and hello, bearish divergence. Yep. So it was always coming up thrust. It's usually the third. It's done again. It's usually the third one. 1, 2, 3, and down. So when you ever see the bearish divergence, it's always 1, 2, 3, and then down on the macro level. If you see the bearish divergence, and I've noticed that it's an observation I've picked up. 1, 2, 3, and then down. And so is Ethereum going to do this? Well, there's going to be a bounce here. That's my point. I'll leave it at that. Let me drink my tea. It's getting cold. Back data. ADA is flying. So I did the right thing. I bought ADA, and it's doing well against Ethereum. So if Ethereum, it's almost going to break that level. I would say that against Ethereum, if you haven't done it now, just wait for the breakout, and then potentially that's the next resistance. And a bit of a reversal potentially. So it's almost done this. And if you look at it, now we can look at Ethereum, ADA and Ethereum pairing. These are the big coins really that have dominance on the coin cap. So you got to have a lot of this in your profile. So you got to be flexible. Don't hold on Ethereum just because it's been going up for a long time. It's done too well in a way, and it's hit $4,500 or whatever it is. And you got to be flexible when to dump it, get rid of it, and then observe when to go long again. So here, if you look at it realistically, this is a wedge that's just got a breakout, and that's the move. Would you agree? There are the wicks into the body, and then bang, a strong move. We're going to have a bit of a pause here, I reckon that there'll be a bit of a bull flag, some maybe even come down to here potentially, and then hit that next level, and that's where it will slow down because that is strong resistance. We've seen that was a significant support level. So if you see that move against Ethereum, I would say that it's unlikely to break it the first go, and then you might just try to build up on it. So ADA's going to have its day. It's coming, and against the US dollar, you can see why. Yesterday, I said based on my fib levels, I said from what was it, $1.80 or something, $1.90 or something like that, to $2.18. I went through it yesterday. This chart doesn't have it for some reason. But you could look at this morning's early video. Yeah, so that's my changing plan from Ethereum to ADA. Link did, so if we look at Link, actually let's look at Litecoin for a quick sec. All right, that was my thoughts on Litecoin. Dodge is still, yeah, remember I said that it broke this level. This is very important level, and Dodge got the rejection on this trend line and that, so Dodge is going to stay in its pound. Trying to be funny. To the dollar pound. Nerd. All right, here we go. Yeah, so 4chain is pretty much struggling to hold this level. Not interested. Bitcoin dominance really hasn't changed, has it? Bitcoin dominance, like that's a daily, it hasn't really changed. And this is yeah, that's a daily as well. So it had a bit of a wicks here and there, but then it just dropped. So let's look at Bitcoin right now. What is it doing? See how it's holding up. So my what I have here is pretty much, I think. Actually, I'll make it orange because if I move to another red, that'll be blue. Basically, what I'm thinking is it's going to be doing this, and I have a 60% chance that it will go up, and I have a 40% chance that will go down. That's my. I'm with the 60% bullish, and that's making the assumption that this US dollar is pretty much approach resistance, and then it's going to come down a bit, or just go up a bit more. It's going to be stuck in this pocket, I think, the US dollar, and that's the initial candle was very strong, which pretty much knocked out a lot of the coins. And you can see even here, the SP 500 is trying to bounce back, found some support, and even gold is finding some bounce as well on the 1 hour. So slight signs, small signs that we might have support. Looking forward. Okay, let's see what I have open. No, not ready for a breakout. Hot. Okay, we've got a few charts here. Actually, this was interesting. Bayo, I thought it might be a good cheap coin to buy. It's it's got a few zeros, decimal 0 points, and it hasn't done its run yet. So this could be one of those shit coins that can potentially do good, go well. I'm going to keep an eye on that one. Hot's done a big move, and it's come down to this fib level for support. So my guess is that it will find support as long as the bull market is still there. and it will slowly work its way back up. So just because hot did very well here, and it, mate, I wish I had it early, but I came in too late. But you can see what kind of pullback, and all these fib levels are relevant. It's come back to the 236, and I think that's where it will find and just hold its level. I don't think it will come down any further, and that's hot. All right, let's see what else. Chart BNB is the one. Yeah, okay. No surprise when I was talked about this, and that trend line, it pretty much gave a good rejection for Binance coin against Bitcoin. It's finding support on this level, and I don't know. I can't figure out what it's going to do next. To tell the truth, that was a good rejection. Was it its target for like Ethereum? I don't think so. Here you can see what I got. I have 1, 2, 3 rejections on the 618 extension, and I had the next target as that, which is about 720. So now this is pulled back. Where is it now? It's still struggling. It's in between this level, that level, and this level, where it's going to. There's no reason why it can't go down and do this double bottom of ADA did and a few other coins. It's in a big structure, and the fact that we've got a big pullback, I do expect to. I do think that Binance should go up, but there's no reason why it can't go down either. I'm 50-50 on that, so I'm not interested. It done a big move, triangle, and potentially, and it got it there. There you go. I was going to say that was his target, and that's the next one down. So it's already done it based on this triangle formation. So now it's like a reset button. It can do whatever it wants. It's got no prior structure to give any direction. So Binance, I do have Binance, and I didn't get it quick enough to sell it. Been too busy today. I bought this today. XY0, and the bloody fees are outrageous. Cost me, what is it? It cost me to buy a transaction. It cost me like $186 on gas fees. That's the Ethereum, and the second one was like in the 170s. I didn't buy much, but that's crazy. Look at the fees just to buy some shit coin. Anyway, I see this structure. It's come down. You can see this area, and there's a midsection to it. You can sort of see it. I don't think it's going to come down to this level. It's too low. I think that level is done, and I bought it here, and I'm looking to add to it on the breakout. And if it comes down here, I'll buy more. That's my goal. Why the XY0 Oracle? I'll quickly show you why XY0 coin. I found someone give on the there's one guy I follow on YouTube, and he talked about it. And where's the website? Hold on, where's the official website? Chat. No, where's the website? Bloody hell. Surely it can't be that. All right, let's see if that's it. Developers, hold it. Where's that? Resources, no. Partners, look at this. Partners. Chainlink is the partner. Dave is a partner. Microsoft is a partner. So there's a few good partners in there. And anyway, have a look. Your decision. And it's cheap at the moment. Looking at that, look at, like I came late to it. But you know how many zeros? You know how many zeros there are on front of this coin? Well, there's it drops 11%, so I bought it. But it's one of those shit coins. I'm not putting a lot of money on it, but I do expect it to probably potentially go more. And you can dream about it hitting 1 cent or 10 cents. Anyway, that's one of those coins that I'm buying. I'm buying a few shit coins. Seems to be the way. Take some of the profits and just chuck it in there. And all right, let's move on. This is another one, Trubit. I've bought it and I'm looking to add more to it. So this is, it's not cheap, is it? But the thing is, you can see the structure sort of working its way out. I'm just going to keep looking at this. My stop limit will be, I've got to fix this line up, but pretty much that's my stop limit exit. If it drops below that, I'm out, because that can come down much further. But you can't do it, you've got to manually do it. There we go. And there was another coin, I bought Router a while ago, and from the same guy, I think it was. No, what am I doing? I should have a chart. If I load route, the route token. Let's see how it's doing. Let's see how my charts. Yeah, baby. There you go. I haven't touched this chart for ages, and it's very hard to see the because on Uniswap and these candlesticks aren't that great. But if I close in, that was my buy zone. We had 1, 2, 3 rejections, and then a break, and now a retest. So realistically, route. So my theory is, you got this accelerate uptrend to a point, and I kid you not, I got it right on the money, and it worked. You can see I think I did a post on this. Yeah, I did a post. You can check the post. This is exactly the way I did, and it's working out perfectly. So now this acceleration is going to take place. I don't know how high. I've done it to 32 cents or $32. So it's not cheap. I bought it at $7 or whatever it was. $32 is the first target, and should have now hindsight. I should have had more. I should have bought more. That's 380%, which is not bad if it works out that way. So that's one of my tips. Route token. Anyway, moving on. Bitcoin, don't go down, don't stuff up all the alts. Here we go. We're seeing another. So this is likely to be. So I'm counting the bounces here. So it's go down. A, that's my A bounce. A, B, C, D, E somewhere. I don't know what formation is going to take, but there's going to be, I think, 5 ups and downs before it decides which direction. It could be any formation, really. It could be inverse head and shoulders, triangle, or whatever it is. But there's going to be 5 impulses. In some cases, it's not. Like here, it's 1, 2, 3, and up. So that you can have that. And then here you got A, B, C, D, E, and up. Here's a bigger one. A, B, C, D. No, sorry. The first one you don't count. A, B, C, D, E, and then went down. Yep. And then it found support. So this one was a bit of a nasty one. So anyway, that's my method. I'm looking for the final areas, and then I'll buy in if it looks bullish to me. So I'm just waiting for those bounces. Maybe I'll put my money into something else. Okay. That's the weekly. We're still above that higher low. So the trend's still intact. And we got till end of Sunday for that to close above. It's not the best. And I'm seeing ADA moving somewhere. What's ADA doing? Okay. So Ethereum must be bouncing a bit. Yeah, so you can see Ethereum's bounced up a bit. Remember I said don't sell? These are the reasons. Those weeks. All right. It's going to what I pretty much explained. Shiba, that's a buy zone. I spoke about it, and let's see if it holds. I still think this is going to go up more. Done that. Done Dodge. That's Litecoin. Litecoin's bullish. It's got a trend line, which is sort of in parallel. That's a Bitcoin pairing. It's in parallel with that trend line, the bottom support. So yeah, stay from Litecoin. Sometimes it does really well and sometimes it doesn't, but I think Litecoin's one of those good ones that is reliable. Cake. This is what I showed today, yes, early today maybe. And that's my opinion at the moment. Until it tells me anything different. I think that's what it's going to do for Cake. And just count the bounces. See how many times it stays there. Look at the daily, look at the 4 hour, and then make a decision on that. I'll just save that. I think Cake's got still a long way to go. If the market's bullish, I'm going to close that one. Ripple. Those are my thoughts on Ripple, essentially. And nothing's changed, in my opinion. Yeah, so it's finding support, but let's see what happens. Wouldn't surprise me if it comes down a bit as well. So Ripple's unreliable, in my opinion. And that was one of the, that's the useless chart. I'll get rid of that. Neo's in mid, so it's in this reaccumulation phase. Remember I said about the up thrust? We had the 1, 2, 3, first point rejection, deep rejection, find support. Remember, look, this is the same. Double top, now it's in the middle. Ethereum is going to do something like that. That's my opinion. And it's proven to be this type of case. Here's one. For those that haven't seen my website, still not finished. There is, I'll show there's a chart there, if I get to it. Under free course, hopefully I didn't delete it. Oh, I did delete it. Okay. There is, under here, I think you should be able to get it. There's a wick off schematics. And these are so you should be able to get it for free access. It talks about structure. And the one that I've been saying is this type of structure where it hits the top, pulls back deep, and this is a reaccumulation structure. Pretty much, there's a few scenarios, and a lot of the alts are doing one of these four. In height, like near enough, close enough. So look at this one. So you remember I said this up thrust, big deep a rejection from the first level, find support, another up thrust, and potentially all the way back down or halfway. This is one of many scenarios. So if you look at that scenario there, and then you look at, I don't know, what we were looking at before, Neo. You can see the resemblance, and you can see Ethereum pretty much potentially playing that out as well. The top, if you can forget about this trend line. So if I get rid of that for the time being, is that the other one? Yeah. And I'll put that there. Just, and I'll get rid of that as well. So now you can start to see that it's starting to make sense. I'll get rid of that as well. Now you can see that structure. So I do think Ethereum is going to go back up to that level, but it's not going to pass it that easy, based on the wick off reaccumulation. So I think that sort of explains it a bit better for you guys with this example. Yeah, so what I'm doing on my website pretty much is building a knowledge base. There's an information center and so on, and I'm going to start documenting. Well, there's a training course part which is subscription-wise, case studies, and then over here for subscribers, strategies and so on. You can have a snoop around on what, and if you want to register, you can register, but you'll have very limited access. It's still a lot of work to be done. And there is this mentor program, and if you're interested, what I'm covering today is what I'll do live twice a week. So okay, I can't show because I'm already done, but you can register. It's $30 a week, and if you're interested, this is the kind of things I talk about. I'll do it on a weekly basis, twice a week, 1 hour each session, ongoing, and it will be a private group, and you can ask questions, and I'll answer them and so on. So what I'm doing today is pretty much promoting my abilities, and if you're interested, there you go. And actually one more thing. If I go down here, you can see that. You can look at one-on-one training, but what I'm doing is I'm looking at trading signals, and these are going to be my prices. So I'm working on the platform and signals, and I think it's fair. If you're going to make lots of money off me, I think it's fair enough to pay for it. So moving on. VET, no, they're all bearish. So VET's already done. Remember I was talking about the structure? VET's done that part. Deep pullback. The first one was a deep pullback all the way down to that level. And you can see how it's wicked down again. So my expectation is that VET's a bit weaker. It's actually come down to this level. And sorry, that level there. So we've got a few strong support levels, and that's why VET it's a good spot to buy in. If you're interested in buying and making an assumption that the market's still bullish, perfect spot to buy VET. And then I think it will continue on. You still play around in this, you still hang around for a while, but this is definitely buy in a bit. As it goes up more, add to your thing. So you might just go like that and just potentially go to the upside. So far what we have is that line and the bottom support. And it took ADA for a while. ADA was doing some shit like this for a long time. And this is the 1 hour chart, so go easy on it. And I think VET is playing out that structure because it's done a real good run. And now it's playing out that reaccumulation structure. And if we are in a big macro bullish market, this is the next phase. ADA's advanced. ADA's pretty much ahead of the game. It's already coming out of this structure, and that's why I once you understand the context, the structure, and what's happening in the reaccumulation structure, and then it does a breakout, $2, $3, $4, ADA's going to keep going as long as the bull market is alive, and as long as Bitcoin doesn't plummet, because that's the caveat. This is the caveat. As long as it stays above, these alts are still going to go, especially likes of ADA. Okay, we've done VET. Zill's lost a lot, and it's not an easy one to read. You can see this one. You can see that was the support, bottom support, then became resistance. It broke above, and I don't know. I can't associate this to any of my wick-off structures at the moment. It's a bit different. It's very similar to Link. It's unconventional structure. So yeah, I always find it difficult when to enter with Zill. It's difficult. So I tend to stay away from it. FTT's on well, it's had a good run when you look at that. So let's go to the 4 hour. You can see what FTT's done. Can you see some patterns in there? So this green and red is my moving average on the 4 hour, and it's my 1350 moving average. And you should go with the patterns. So my thinking is that's done this top layer, and it's done this bottom, and now it's breaking down. That's what I think. Just so, and I'll bet you if I do it on the daily, it looks better. And number two, if I put on the daily with some measurement tools, and I can show you the bearish divergence, pretty much, on a number of them. I can see that it's on this daily, it's gone down. The red green RSI has dropped below 50%, and it's got downward pressure. So the downward pressure, and I think I have, where's my blue? What's the blue one? That's not it. Okay, so I can get rid of that. If I can change that, can't I? No, I can't. 10-20 moving average. Yep, so all right. So that's my 10-20 moving average. The blue and the black. So I reckon the blue is where it's going to head to. This structure, and the bearish divergence is pretty much here, and it just crossed over the MACD, and you can see the bearish divergence with the histogram as well. So can this level hold? I don't think it's going to hold. I think it's going to come down, and I've already measured it. I think the 618, this level, so price keeps coming down. So it bounced, it got a rejection, it's going to come down. This level is, and while this 10 moving average comes up, I think this will be an excellent spot to buy for FTT coin. It's done well in the past, and had a nice uptrend. You can see that, and I can't see why not. And then you can see, very similar to Bitcoin, all of the other charts, it's hit that top layer, and so when it hits, and you can see how many days of resistance. It's like, no, it's not. I'm not going up. It hit. Oh, here you go. I didn't even see it. The 1.618. It's hit the golden ratio again. So perfect. That's the reason. I should have shorted it. Fuck, I missed it. I didn't pay attention. Day chart, big sell. Weak chart, no sell. On hold. Yes. Yes. So it depends on how you trade and what your strategy is. It's still unsettling. Where is it? Is that the one? This is unsettling. the US dollar index. So that stuff does a bit. And you can see some, like even the SP 500 is starting to recover a bit. Don't know how much it's going to recover. But Bitcoin's not going, it can go down. But I think we'll be here for a few days and being on nerve. And while that happens, some of those alts will start rallying up. Okay, Matic. I didn't quite get right. All right, just give me a sec. I'll knock on the door. Well done. Have fun. You can make me one. Hello.
I was gonna ask you if you can make.
I'm doing a stream. I have an audience.
Oh, hi audience. Well,
They can't see you, they can hear you. Yeah.
I want to tell you something.
Right now. Yeah. Say again. Oh, come on. Hold on, give me a sec. What did you say?
This is the conveyor with the last day of
Okay, go to silly. But you came late, and so I forgot. I'll let them know.
last time I didn't either.
Did you?
No, that's how I'm thinking.
No, because you come late. You come late, Baba?
Not last time.
Okay, I'll let them know. All right. Okay. So Matic is good and bad, isn't it? It really goes and it really pulls back hard. Unreliable. I remember a long time ago it got a major dump, Matic. Can't remember where it was. But it really, that's the one there. There you go. Back then, Matic was going, and look at this dump. In my opinion, that was a scam. Like they pumped it, and then they plummeted all the way down there. That's not COVID. Is that COVID? No. There was a section where they really, yeah, I think that was it. That was capitulation. And that was like, okay, 40%, it's not that bad. All right. Yeah, so Matic, I have no idea what it's doing. Being honest, it's just no trend, nothing I can rely on. So what do I have it? I was looking at buying this breakout. That's right. I had that breakout level, and then it just dumped after that, didn't it? It's one thing you can't go along with. Okay, that's pretty much clear. Wi-Fi is doing something similar. Nothing there to talk about. Oh, this is VET. It's not in Wi-Fi. So let me just close that. Not interested in VET at the moment. Dot, the bad, unreliable girlfriend. It looks like it's holding this level, this line, although it keeps wicking down a lot, doesn't it? That was today, I think. This one here. This is 2-hour chart. So that was, look at that, from there all the way there, dot, and then all the way back up, and then all the way back down. It's like, they'll wreck you. It's just so there's demand for it. So I suppose the people that bought it here, yep, that's clear resistance. I'll just sell it, and then profit went down. So that was a good trade for a lot of people. So you know that this is a demand zone. Definitely a demand zone. That wick showed it. That wick showed it. That's a demand zone. So this was our number 1 support. Here's number 2. Now, here's number 3. So when price comes around this area, reaccumulation, right? And up, you might wick down for stuff people up and then straight up. That's my thinking on the dot. I prefer to look for that breakout there. I'm not going to go messing around with that. If it comes around here, does whatever it does and looks to break out through that line, that's when I'd make the trade. Link. So Link's hit its target. And that's why we're having this pretty much sell-off. It was 1.272 level. There you go. 12.72. Even though I thought, if I look at this on the daily, you can see what I'm going to talk about, Link. So you can see what I've identified Link to be going for. This green line, I had it as a trend, and it is a significant resistance level. So what I'm trying to say here is, all along here, it's resistance, 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 acted a bit of support, and therefore it's resistance, resistance. What would you expect to get? What would you expect it to go? Keep going up? Might, but at the moment it's just resistance. So these kind of things that you need to be observant. Here's the other one, the orange one. So we did break above it. So this green line is a true trend line as resistance. If I'm concerned, this orange one isn't anymore because it's been proven. So I can get rid of the orange line now, and I can even get rid of this black line, and I'll make this bugger my strong one, strong resistance. I'll make it red. I think that's the thing, the way to go. And I do believe it's a channel, but I'm going to clean this up later on. I'll just keep a note on that. And you can see all my fib lines, local fib lines, and then the macro fib lines, and we hit one of the major targets. My next target is, if it performs well, $70, between $64 and $70. Once it regains its momentum, I think that's the next box, and then up to $98, probably the main one, based on Fibonacci and structure. OMG, it's plummeting, looks bad, and it's dropped a key level. Yeah, so OMG is a bit bearish. It's dropped down a bit too deep for my liking, and don't care about it anymore. Sushi is, as you can see, it was going on this big channel, broke, now it's going sideways. It's trying to find it. I think that's, this box is a, where is it? Here we go. Okay, so I had this box here, previous when it first started, and realistically, here we go. If I get that right there, that was a previous all-time high, previous entrance. So that is the reference point, and you can see how it's become the battleground along the middle. So if I get that, you can see where it becomes consistently a battlefield. We want to see something. So it's broken up once, it's come down, and we want to see it break up again, and off it goes. Give me a sec, guys. Hello? Hello? Yeah. just had a private conversation, so I thought I'd better just take it offline. Yeah, for those who don't who don't have the successful thing, that's my YouTube link for the current session. So if TradingView is giving you the shits, well, there is the. So why is my live not working? Yeah, go to YouTube, probably work for you. TradingView does have hitches once in a while. So let me just read a few comments. Okay, 52,800. If it stays below this, we go lower. We don't go up. Okay. So that's your line in the sand. I don't think so. It's too inflexible. I will look at, so if just to make that point, if you look at this chart, let's look at it objectively. I got a weekly, and so let's see the weekly Bitcoin. Hold on, what are you doing? So it is still very close, isn't it? So I'm going to look at this weekly. Right there, the bottom of the candle. Let's just make that thinner. Is that close enough? That's the support. We've got two weekly candles. One was bearish and the other one was bullish. That's the support line. You can see where the weekly is. Now, that's the value that is important. And that's 49,000. So, in my opinion, if we go below that, we're stuffed. Okay? Now, that's having a 4-hour candle closing below it. So, not the weekly, but if we have a daily candle, especially a daily candle, if we close below this, and you can see how it goes across to the left. So if I do that, it's very hard with this, but it's also got context on this side here, for the big on the daily. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to look at that. That's my weekly. So let me just have a closer. I want to get it accurate as much as I can. And then see it in context. Come on. Bloody hell. That's there, right. All right, cool. And you can see previously that level there, that was a wick on the weekly. That was support. So this range, where it's currently there, and potentially to that level here, and you can see here, there's a few. If we have a daily that closes below that, we're stuffed. So now let's go to the daily. Okay, and I've got to clear it up a bit. Let's see. No, that's not the one I want. I want to clean this chart up a bit. Clean that up. And you can see where I had this box. That box, I suppose, should be around there. That is a key level. And we're right in the middle of it. And the wick's on both sides at the moment. All right, I can get rid of that. I don't need some of this stuff here. But it does look bearish, doesn't it? Why? Because the daily moving averages of 10 and 20 are above, which used to be act like support. And but what really matters is the weekly. So let's look at the weekly 10 moving average, which is that one. That red one there is a 10 weekly moving average. So we've dropped below that. So that's not good. And then we've got the 20 weekly moving average, which is currently acting as support. So I want to put that in there as well. I'll make it blue. Yep. And then go back to the daily. Or 12, yeah, to go daily. Now you can see those lines, how relevant they are. The 10-weekly moving average was acting as support for this episode, and we dropped below it. Now we've got the 20 moving average coming into play. Now, 49,000, that was the weekly support. And you can see we're slightly above it. We can't have a daily candle close below it. And that's my point. Not 52,000, 49,000. We can't afford to be below 49,000 on the daily candle. If it does, then we've pretty much broken the weekly trend. So the weekly trend is pretty important. It's all about trends, right? The weekly trend currently, and I spoke about this today, really. Actually, here's a good one for you guys. Just for those that don't understand trends, I did a session. Hold on, give me a sec. Come on, where you go? I'm going to move this across, and I recommend for some of you to watch it. Where'd it go? Here we go. No. Where's my? Is that it? Where's my freaking? Sorry, where'd it go? Yeah, that's the one. Okay. So here's the one I was talking about. If I go here and for those people just to understand trends, I did a session, a live stream, and I recommend that you do it. It's a powerful way of understanding what's going on. So this, I'll give you two actually. So where am I? Here, this one here. Quick lessons about trends and what this move means. So the trend, how we read trends and what it means is well explained, and it's focused on Bitcoin. And I talked about what I'm talking about now. And the other one that for the newbies, people who are starting to understand charts and who want to understand charts, there's this one here, which includes support and resistance, and what all the components of support and resistance are. So trends, support and resistance, I've made them same icons or labeled them with the same picture. Those are two that I recommend you look at. I think it's covered in the early stages of the live sessions. Then I'll continue on to do analysis. But those are the two I recommend you look at. And they're relevant to today and what I'm talking about. So this is the trend that we're talking about. And I'm not going to explain trends. You can watch those. But basically, this was our higher low, next higher low, and then we had another higher low, and we can't afford to lose it. So we're right there, and we can't afford to lose that higher low. We're talking about the body of the candle, not the wicks, but the body of the candle on the weekly. Trends are like that. And basically, if we do that, if we make a lower high, so a higher, this is a higher low, and if we have a lower low, in other words, if this is below this one, then it's a changing trend. And it's likely to go that way on the weekly, and that is a reversal. So we are here weekly, but if the weekly gives it up, then we are on a reversal. And basically, this is the top. And the reversal will take us back down. If I was to tell you where the reversal will take us back down to, it will be a guess, obviously. I would just use a Fibonacci. And I'll be really mean and hard on our reversal. And I would say it will come down to the first one will be this level here, which is about 38K. So the reversal should come down. If we lose this, we'll come down to 38K, 35 to 38K, this 0.5 Fibonacci. And we might get a bounce and then go more. And then the 618. The 618 is about 30,000. And then we might continue up. And then we have this, I don't know, potential formation. But that's, so we are fighting here to keep the trend. We want to see the trend keep going up. And this is very critical, right where we are now on the weekly. And historically, whenever we lost the trend on the weekly, and here we go, quick lesson on historical trends. Higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then what happens? No high highs, we've got a higher low. And then that was a lower, higher low, sorry, a lower high, and this higher low is down. So that trend, once it was broken, we have a trend change, and that's why we went downwards. That was confirmation. So once we lost that level, it was confirmation that we're going to go down. And changing, then with the bear market, really. That is the bear market. So we're fighting for that right here. Now, the question is, how low could it go? Many say this level. This level is pretty much where it's going to find support on the macro and then back up. And that's nasty because that's about 20K to this Fibonacci level, which has confluence to this. So I was being a bit generous there. I think it will come down to, it will come down much harder and come down to about 20K if we get this weekly change in trend. And if you look at the RSIs, so here we go, MACD is crossed over. This is coming down. So if this comes below 50%, just like here, then we're going to continue going down south. Anytime it goes down on the weekly, we go down. Right now, we've actually broken a lot of areas on the weekly. You can see this. This was another sign. So if I was to do that, and I'll put if I say that was the line in the sand right there, now watch, where was our exit level? Right there. It's saying, based on that, crossover. And we've been going sideways ever since. I'm just looking at it from a high level. A few generalized statements. All right. How much did I draw? So the trend is very important because a lot of people make judgment on that. You can see how this is coming down. This is looking bearish. It's going to come to the wire really. And there's bearish divergence all over the place on the weekly. And the clearest one that does it, in my opinion, is RSI. So if I was to flip that and get the weekly out, that's a 4 hour, so we don't want that. If I was to get the weekly on this one, look at our RSI. Look how it's going south while the price is going sideways. That's a massive bearish divergence. And historically, when we have something like that, like even these ones were very different. RSI was very different to this. This is really pointing south, and we're still not dropping. Now, there's one thing that could be excuse why it's staying up there, and that could be a hidden bearish divergence. But I can't chart it. Now let me have a look at one of my reference charts. No, I can't really do it. I can't see, actually there is one. If I do this, okay, and I do this, I think that's how it works. That is a hidden bearish divergence from bottom to bottom. That is a hidden bearish divergence. But I'm not confident about that. I think if it comes to this level, we might go up. Actually, there's one good thing about this one, RSI. Look at this. That's actually a good sign. That's the hidden bearish divergence on the weekly. So a bit of good news. Is it going to play out? It needs to hold this level. It can't drop below it. So the weekly RSI can't break this bottom level. Yeah. So I didn't pick that up last time. So now I'm doing it. That's a good sign. And you can see previous RSIs where and when it breaks that level. So here was a bullish divergence on the bottom. Right here, this is bullish divergence on the RSI on the weekly over here. But you can see once it broke this trend line, it escalated. It went really quick up. Powerful move. Didn't last long, but I'm expecting something like that. If we see that this line broke, see a breakout from that line, it's pretty good. That will be going high leverage. That will be my high leverage move, crossing that RSI. So that's, I keep coming back to Bitcoin, but there is potential there. This method I've used, it's proven to be effective many times in the past. So, but the thing is, you've got to be lucky to find it. You've got to be looking at the right place at the right time, using the RSI in a structural formation to make a trade. So this is one of my, I suppose, methods. It's proven to be a very powerful method of mine. I've just given you a clue. Here's another one. So the RSI comes down, has that. This pretty much reflects this, doesn't it? And then when it breaks this, when the RSI breaks this level, it plummets, and pretty much did the same. This is the weekly, and that's very powerful. All right, moving on. I haven't got much to go. Sushi. I have an opinion on that. Bitcoin Cash just sucks. Makes a good move, lost a key level, and it's pretty much coming down. It's unreliable. Never go along with Bitcoin Cash. Just use it. This one seems to be holding. Reef. Let's see. You got any requests? Let me know. But I don't want to be here too long. Yeah, so I can't. I can see this moving average on the 1 hour, but one of my methods is to look for. So when price keeps dropping, I think this is going to keep dropping. Well, it's not tradable. At the moment, it's not tradable at all because it's not working into a structure that I understand or see, recognize, except for the fact that this is support level and it hasn't quite come down there yet, so I'm not interested. Sol is the one that I want to potentially trade. It's done well in the past and it hasn't done what the other coins have done really at this level. So you can see Sol is a beautiful trend. And so this is a 4-hour chart, and many times every time it breaks a level. So here was a beautiful a trade. When it broke, so we had this crossover of the moving averages. Actually, that's a 4-hour. That's not the one. Let's do the 1 hour. And this is the one I want. So you can see how my 1350 moving average strategy as part of the checklist you see a structure, and when you identify a structure and then you get the 1350 crossover in the structure or slightly outside the structure, it's time to pay attention to it. Here we see 1350 crossover just zigzagging around, so there's no consistency, therefore there is no trade. And no, pretty much done, am I? So gold is holding its level. The markets are still open. Looking at this icon, oh, that's Bitcoin. That's the gold market still open. US dollars market still open, and SP 500 is still open. And just like here, I see the SP 500. It's holding this level, significant support level. So far, so good. As long as these buggers stay up, Bitcoin has a good chance of staying up. And the US dollar, let's look on the 4 hour, see what it's doing before we say that's enough. There you go. That's the 4 hour US dollar. Reversal pattern on the bottom. It's come to a resistance area, and it's struggling to make any direction. Hopefully this just dives. This will be the best for Bitcoin. It just dives and Bitcoin goes up. I'm done, guys. Hopefully you benefit from this. If you got any quick questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to sign off. I'll give you 30 seconds to post whatever charts you want to look at. I don't want to look at too many, but this is it. Hopefully you benefit from it. And I'm not getting any questions. I've got 33 people online, 34, and it looks like we're done. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. Hopefully I did a good job again. I don't know, because only a few people give me a comment. I'm trying to be better at explaining things, and I'll keep practicing and I keep sharing. So I'll build up a community that follows me, and hopefully I'll benefit from that as well. So have a nice evening. All the best for trading, and I'll see you soon. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.